back to Write Bright, so where we talk about writing, we talk about how to improve your writing, and we talk about fiction, and we talk about psychology, and mainly just writing, okay? But like we infuse our understanding of how to write better and how to write in general. So today we're going to talk about 3 strategies so that you can start reading more. Okay, it's really difficult to read in this day and age where instant gratification is at the forefront of our daily activities. So things like social media, things like pleasures, things that activate the pleasure centers of our brain, they're really taking a toll on us, and they're making strenuous tasks more difficult to complete. So reading can become kind of a chore and it can become difficult. But there are psychological tricks you can employ so that you can read more. These tricks are also good for writing, but I'm just going to focus on these reading tricks and do a separate video on the writing tricks because they do differ slightly. Trick number 1 that I personally love, and I used this during my undergrad so many times without even realizing it. It was just the way my commute was set up. Okay, read on the subway. And the reason why this trick works really well is because you have usually no internet access on the subway unless you're living in New York, where the subway system is just incredible, like fantastic. But if you're in, Toronto or even London, most likely you won't have access to internet on the subway. So that's really good because it kind of traps you in a place where you have to wait for a period of time to get somewhere. And it does motivate you to read. If you have a book on you, you just pull it out of your backpack, out of your book bag, out of your bag. Hot sauce in my bag, swag.
Put your book out of your bag, swag, okay? And then you read it.
And then it's just really easy after that. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about, mate. So that's a really good tip I had, and it kind of works in the same way that Atomic Habits talks about. So I don't know if you guys have read the book Atomic Habits, but there's a strategy in there where arrange your environment to achieve your goals. So you don't force yourself to rely on willpower, which can be difficult. And it can be challenging when you don't feel like doing something. But you arrange your environment so that it helps you meet your goals. Making sure you jump on the subway is a really good way, a really great strategy of reading more. I personally always read on the subway just because there's something to do, Okay, tip number 2. Choose a really good medium for reading. So you can also alternate mediums. I have a Kindle. Well, I have the Kindle app, but I'm planning on getting a Kindle, and I have physical copies. So I alternate between the two to make it easier. I know a lot of people who also alternate between the audiobook, the Kindle, and then the physical copy. And what this does is it also just creates a change of pace, okay? So you can just read on one platform, and then if your eyes get tired or if you feel like bored by it for some reason, you can visually change it up by changing the platform. And also it makes it more accessible. So if you're in a position where you haven't brought your book, you can just open up your phone and you'll have your Kindle app in there. So it eliminates any real excuse. Okay, the 3rd tip. This one is actually based on psychological information. The other ones were as well, but this one is largely based on psychological information and less so on practice. So you have to end your reading in the middle of a chapter. It's crazy, right? But what it does is it makes you feel subconsciously that you have to complete something. So you'll be thinking about that thing without even realizing you're thinking about that thing. And you'll be thinking, I need to complete this. And then you'll have more of an incentive and you'll be more motivated subconsciously to go back to your book and to complete the chapter you were reading. This works really well for writing, and I heard this tip when I was in undergrad and I was writing a lot of essays, and they always said to finish in the middle of a paragraph because it actually motivates you to complete the paragraph, and then you can also take a break without taking too long of a break. You know what I'm saying? When you finish a paragraph or you finish a whole page, you're like, I worked so hard, and you take a break, but then that break, it just extends and extends and extends, and you're still taking a break and you just haven't touched it yet, and it's just this whole thing, so it really prevents that from happening by making sure that your brain is working with you and not against you, and you're using your subconscious faculties to motivate you over the burden of opening up that book again, because now you have a goal. You have to finish your chapter, you have to finish it, and it's not a question of wanting to, it's kind of like more of a need because it's bothering you in the back of your head. So that's another way you can keep reading and keep your momentum going as you're reading a variety of different books, including nonfiction and fiction, depending on what you're interested in. Awesome. That was my 3 tips for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to follow, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like. Please also follow me on Instagram. There are 2 channels, my personal channel where I post music, I post poetry, I post writing tips, and I post video snippets from these videos. But there's also an Instagram channel for Write Brights only, so I only post writing tips on Write Brights. Follow Write Brights if you just want writing tips, but follow me if you want my own writing, because I'll talk more about my personal journey with my writing. I'll post my poetry work, and my stories are usually musical, so I'll post something about like a piece I wrote on the piano or anything like that, or just little updates that I have going on if you're interested. Yeah. Maybe I'll post food, who knows? I'll branch out. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.